That should do it. Oh, it's working. Welcome. I'm so glad you could be here with us today to try out my latest invention, Interactovision. This device allows guests to visit us here in West Wallaby Street without having to leave the comfort of their own homes. Quite handy for stopping off at a distant granny's, don't you think? And wherever we go, you can come along. There's Gromit playing a spot of chess. Let's walk over and have a look. They're not playing. Let's ask Gromit. You can use your Interactovision mouse to choose characters and things you want to interact with. I've built in brackets that will highlight the item on your screen. Dead handy that. Point at Gromit and click the left mouse button. Things seem to be at a bit of a standstill. How's the match going, Gromit? Oh dear. Gromit might have more to share. I find out about all sorts of different things just by asking. Let's interact with that broken chess piece the same way we did with Gromit just now. How on earth did that happen? Getting competitive now, are we? This is a pickle, isn't it? Well, perhaps our new guest can help us find a replacement piece to get the game back on. There must be something in this room we can substitute for that bishop. Why don't we walk around and investigate items the same way as before? Cheese. Sometimes I come across things I want to carry around with me. With Interactovision, you can see all of the things I've picked up. Cheese is better for eating than for playing chess with. I know from experience. Looks like you're winning so far, eh, Gromit? Get 'em, boy. Hey, look at that. God save her, eh? A piece for your game, Gromit. Oh, you've still got 2 queens. Might confuse things a bit, don't you think? So this won't do. The porridge gun. The latest in high-speed breakfasts and brunch defense. That's a lovely shape. Here, Gromit, it's the spitting image of your bishop. This should work nicely. Bless your lad. Well done and good thinking. You're getting clever with the Interactovision. Just the sort of ingenuity we could use around here, right, Gromit? Thanks for stopping by. Do come back soon. Breakfast time, Gromit! Another perfect landing. Your turn to make breakfast, Gromit. Eggs, I think. And toast with honey today. Step to it, lad. I'm famished. I'll be right here if you need me, nursing me appetite. Silicon flowers, Gromit. A major contribution to our modern lifestyle. Honey piped directly from the source. Everyone in town will want their own honey tap when word gets out. Well, what did the postman bring us then? Any orders? Hand it over, lad. Did you find those dog tags I bought you, Gromit? Did you bring the mail, Gromit? Oh, no. Final demand. I don't know. There's payment due now. And a disconnection? Nothing but bills, Gromit. I can't look at these before I have my breakfast. If we don't find some steady customers soon, I don't know how we'll make ends meet. Oh, all right then. I'll open one, but just the one. Seems your subscription to Marrow Growers Monthly is up for renewal. Don't suppose you'd consider cancelling? Thought not. Oh, better pay up then. Now, where did I put my pen? Ah, yes. The living room's out of bounds for now, Gromit. Had to use it for storage. Only temporary, mind. We'll need those crates once the orders start pouring in.
Hi, Wallace. Vanille here. Sorry to leave a message, but it's about that incident in my shop. That blinking mechanical mouse of yours has put me in a right pickle. But it may be a Sniffer 3000 with advanced cheese tracking capabilities, but it chewed through all me Wensleydeil and me Red Leicester too. Now, I know we've always been on good terms, but this morning I find myself not inconsiderably discombobulated, and I can't let it happen again, I'm afraid. I'm sorry to say that with the deepest regret, and following police advice, you and your blinking contraptions are barred from my establishment until further notice.
Don't push me buttons, Gromit. I suppose I should at least pay the wool bill. Hey! That dog is getting a little too independent, if you ask me. Yo! Et tu, Gromit? Still no breakfast? I'm beginning to suspect foul play. Done to a turn. My compliments to the chef. But I'm still waiting for the eggs and honey. Cracking eggs, Chuck. But I can't break my fast without honey. Honey? How sweet of you, Gromit. Now that's what I call a breakfast feast. Wasn't so difficult, was it, lad? With a hearty plate of eggs and toast under me belt, I'm ready to take on the world. Gromit, I've a strange feeling this is the day our fortunes are going to change.
Morning, Wallace. May I have a word?
If it's about yesterday's little mishap,
Oh, no, you see...
I can assure you it was an accident, Mr. Pinner, and I'll certainly pay for the damage to your grocery shop. I was just putting the Sniffer 3000 through its paces. It's still only a prototype, you know.
Oh, I realize that, Mr. Wallace.
And what better place to test out a cheese detector than in a shop with such an excellent selection of cheeses?
Happen. But you'll still have to pay for the damage, I'm afraid.
Yes, of course. I'll put it all right. Though funds are, how can I put this, a little tight at the moment. Only until our new business is up and running.
Aye, well, that's what I'm here to talk about. I understand you and Gromit are in the honey business now.
Fresh deliveries daily, from bee to you.
Ah, well, perhaps I can help you get on your feet. I'm having my annual sounding of the Crumpets Festival, and I'm clean out of honey. Can you deliver 50 gallons?
50 gallons?
By tonight?
Tonight?
It'll more than cancel your debt, and it'll be good advertising for you. What do you say?
I say... yes! We're in business, lad! Heads up, no time for slacking. From B to U has landed its first major order. 50 gallons of honey by tomorrow. I want this place to be a hive of activity. It's your chance to show the world what sort of workers you are. They're certainly buzzing with excitement. Or maybe they're hungry. Did you remember to feed them this morning, Gromit? Never mind, lad. I'll do it. I don't want any accidents on my shop floor. The remote control for my Sniffer 3000. Too bad about the teething problems. Still, this might come in handy. Flowers. The perfect meal for a hungry hive. Bon appetit. Oh! Not exactly a flood, is it? Flowers, Gromit. That's the weak link in our production chain. We need more flowers. Now, where can I find a whole lot of flowers in a hurry? What's that? That looks like the flyer I picked up in the hall. Why would Gromit throw away an important piece of correspondence like that? That was a grand fishing trip, Gromit, until that giant squid turned up. That's the racket Gromit used when he took the cup at the Brambleton Open, Canine Division. Last night's bedtime snack. Gorgonzola makes a nice change from Wensleydale. Time for a nap. Oh, no, better not. This call box has been a boon for Gromit. No matter where he is in the house, he's never far from his master's voice. Phew, that'll put me right to sleep.
Beautiful morning, Mr. Wallace. I'm pleased to see you've emerged from your subterranean lair.
Been doing a spot of gardening, have you, Miss Flit?
Working my green fingers to the bone. But the hard work appears to be paying off.
Indeed it does.
Blooms everywhere. I call it my purple paradise.
It certainly looks delicious. I mean, I imagine it would look delicious if you were an insect.
You mean if I were a bee?
Well, now you mention it.
You want to feed my flowers to your bees?
That is, if you don't mind,
How many would you like?
as many as you can spare.
Oh, you can have all you want, Mr. Wallace.
Oh, much obliged, Miss Flit.
Here, you can jolly well grow your own.
Righto. That flower hasn't bloomed yet.
I know it hasn't, the lazy thing. Oh, but the wait will be worth it.
Oh,
This flower will be the pièce de résistance of my purple paradise. And the scent, absolutement heavenly. I'm simply mad about the purple pansy.
I hadn't noticed those flowers before.
I shouldn't wonder. They're morning glories, and they're usually tucked up in bed by the time you emerge from your underground lair. Their scent is divine.
Attracts a lot of bees, I suppose.
Swarms of them, but I don't let them linger.
I say, those roses look appetizing. If you're a bee.
I'm sure they do. And they smell heavenly. But they're not here to be trampled over by your buzzing bees.
No flowers in here. I wonder what happened to his little cricket bat. There's nothing growing here.
And whose fault is that? You had a garden, Wallace, but you raised it to the ground to feed your silly bees. Now you're making eyes at mine across the fence, but you shan't be plucking any of my blooms. Kindly reserve your green fingers for number 62.
There now, with hard work and a little luck, you should have a nice bed of flowers in 2 or 3 months.
I can't wait 2 or 3 months. I've got a deadline. This evening.
Oh, you poor simple man. Nothing grows that quickly.
I wonder. Rex Armstrong's quick grow muscle formula. Watch them sprout in seconds. If it works on people, perhaps I could adapt it to work on flowers. 3 miracle ingredients. Grow team, energize, strongium. Well, I need a miracle, and fast. Shouldn't be too tricky to knock up a batch myself. Then we'll see who's got the grandest garden in West Wallaby Street. The hive will be humming in no time.
Caught you! Can't take an old soldier by surprise.
Morning, Major Crumb.
It is, if you don't mind enemy invasions.
I beg your pardon.
Didn't you get my message? Received intelligence of a major air assault. Expect the sirens to sound any minute. Hope you know where your nearest air raid shelter is.
I do recall something about that, but Major Crumb, are you sure you're not mistaken?
I know. I've made predictions before, but I'm not crying wolf. This time, I've got proof.
A jar?
It's what's inside the jar that counts. Incontrovertible evidence that the enemy is on the move.
Does it? I can only see a snail.
Of course it's a snail. But what's she trying to tell us? That's the important thing.
What is she trying to tell us?
Look at her, man. She's retreated into her shell in the middle of the day. And that means only one thing. It means she knows trouble is about to strike from the heavens. Law of nature, Wallace. Learned it in France during the war. Never wrong yet. You're looking at my case, aren't you, Wallace?
Well, I suppose I was, Major.
Bet you'd like to know what's inside.
I am curious, yes.
Ha! This case is packed full of government-issue protein bars.
Protein.
Rations, Wallace. Emergency rations for... emergencies, obviously. Been stockpiling them since the war. Enough nutrition in them to feed a man under fire for a whole day.
And very tasty they look too.
Tasty? They're foul, but packed with high-strength protein.
I'd love to try one.
Out of the question, I'm afraid. You don't have clearance. And besides, protein bars are only issued in the event of civil emergencies. Orders are orders, Wallace. Good man, Wallace. I see you at least appreciate the seriousness of the situation. Now, spread the word. If people don't believe what an old soldier has to say, perhaps they'll listen to the snail.
Ah, Mr. Wallace. Mr. Wallace, I've got something for you.
Much obliged.
Have you come to deliver my order?
It's not quite ready yet, I'm afraid.
You're not going to disappoint me. Not after yesterday's little incident.
Oh, no. You can count on from B to U. That looks like... Can it really be cheese?
Indeed it is, Wallace. Wenslydale, your favourite?
Am I to take it that these are...
Yes, 3 samples. Go on, duck in.
Don't mind if I do, Mr. Paneer. 1 for now. And 1 for later. I'm looking forward to your festival of crumpets, Mr. Paneer.
I'm afraid you're banned from my store, Wallace.
What?
Due to the devastation caused yesterday by your invention. I'm ever so sorry, Chuck. Don't forget, Mr. Wallace, 50 gallons by sunset.
Pity it's closed. Oh, I could murder a sausage roll or 2.
Hey up, Wallace, love. How's business? So, Wallace, in the honey business now, I hear.
Oh, you've heard the buzz, have you?
Oh, indeed I have. It's all over town.
It'll never get off the ground. Stupid idea, if you ask me.
And nobody did.
Couldn't get honey out of a honey jar, that one.
Excuse my husband. He's a right misery gut sometimes.
Uh-oh.
Hey, it's not closing time yet.
So, might you be interested in signing up for my honey deliveries, Mrs. Gabberley? Fresh daily.
Oh, I should say so. I'm partial to a spot of honey for my tea.
Waste of money. We'll never see honey for tea, or breakfast for that matter.
Oh, shut up, you. Wallace knows what he's doing. He's got a head for business.
Is that a head? I took it for a parsnip.
Pay him no mind. Ta-ra! Bye then!
Mr. Gabberley.
Gone away. Went to Timbuktu. Won't be back until spring.
Could those be? I couldn't help but notice the flowers on your window ledge, Mrs. Gabberley.
Aye, lovely, aren't they? Bring a touch of summer to the town square. Especially the purple pansies. Always been partial to pansies, me. You should see the flat. It's full of them.
Blinking weeds, if you ask me. Can't abide them.
Oh, go and suck a lemon, you moaning ninny. Oh, now look what you've done, you clumsy oaf. And open up that window when I'm yelling at you.
All right. But only to prove your insults don't get to me anymore. I can deflect them all.
Is that so?
I'd be happy to take these flowers off your hands, Mrs. Gabberley. That is, if they make your husband unhappy.
That's a good reason to keep 'em, to my way of thinking. But go ahead if you want 'em.
Much obliged. Purple pansies. Pardon me, Mrs. Gabberley. I wonder, that is, could you spare a...
Verb.
Sorry?
Give me a verb, Wallace. An action word.
Oh, playing a word game, are we?
In a manner of speaking.
Oh, well, let's see. A verb. Savage can be a verb.
Ooh, I like that. That's a good one. Now I need a thing.
A thing?
Aye, you know, something physical you could touch.
Something I can touch. Turkey?
Why not? Now a descriptive word, if you please.
Mild?
Oh, that's a corker, that is. Last one, nearly done. I need another thing. Or like a person or animal.
A person or animal? Now, let me see now. Gentleman?
Yes, that's a thing. Hey!
What is it now?
Go, savage! A turkey, you mild gentleman!
Hey! You do know how to wound a bloke, Winnie.
Got him that time. Serves him right for being such a grumpy old grandad.
Would you mind, if I, that is, could you see your way fit to lending me that pot of pansies, Mrs. Gabberley, for business purposes?
Business purposes? Well, be my guest. I've got bunches of them.
Me poor Sniffer 3000. I only just put the finishing touches on it yesterday, and it's already fallen afoul of the law.
If it isn't Wallace. I had a notion you'd be nosing round the police station this morning.
Morning, Constable Dibbins.
You're off to an early start today. Not planning any more visits to the shops, are you?
Oh, no. Yesterday was a one-off. I'm in town on business.
Is that so?
Oh, there's Miss Sniffer 3000, banged up like a common criminal. Oh, breaks my heart. That cheese detector's not a bad machine, just a bit overkeen. It's all the Energides in its system. Energides? It seems to me, yes. Energides is one of the ingredients in Rex Armstrong's Quick Grow Muscle formula. I used my last Energide battery to fuel the sniffer. I'll have to get it back if I want to finish the formula. Fear not, my little cheese-sniffing friend. Soon have you out of there. That mattress looks awfully hard. Just as well the Sniffer 3000 goes into sleep mode automatically. The sniffer's just trying to get to the cheese, but the machine sounds like it's crying. Oh, almost brings a tear to my eye just watching. I noticed you received my petition for early release of the Sniffer 3000, Constable Dibbins.
Yes. And I notice it's attracted the signatures of just one man and his dog.
We're only appealing for natural justice.
But your blinking cheese detector thingammy, what do you call it, destroyed an entire grocery store.
Teething problems. It's still only a prototype.
A prototype? It's a villain, if you ask me. A diabolical device. You can see that in its face.
My machine isn't evil, Constable Dibbins. It's just got a short fuse and a few loose nuts.
We'll see. I'm going to formally interview this glorified tin can of yours, and if it can convince me that it's not a menace to society, then perhaps I'll release it into your custody. You there, prisoner. Kindly look at me when I'm talking to you. Well, if that's how he wants to play it, then he can stay in here until he rusts for all I care. We've had our little chat.
And?
I'm afraid there's no talking to your sniffer. Hardwired for criminality, I'd say.
Cheesy nibble, Officer Dibbins?
Well, well, well. Wensleydale. Not attempting to bribe an officer, are you, Wallace? For shame. The great British Bobby cannot be bought off with a cheesy nibble.
May I show you something, Constable Dibbins?
Is it important?
It might be.
That's a snail, Wallace.
Do you notice anything peculiar about it?
Only the person what's holding it.
Must be awfully hot under that helmet, I reckon. A sunny day like today.
It's a trifle sweltering, yes. But danger and discomfort are all in the line of duty for an officer of the law, though most folk don't appreciate it.
Can you see fit to grant my appeal, Constable Dibbins?
Not on your Nelly. That heap of nuts and bolts is now but trouble. Couldn't give me a single straight answer when I tried to interrogate it.
It only responds to certain commands. I know, I programmed it. Perhaps you could try a gentler approach?
Well, I'll have another chat with it. More friendly-like.
Oh, yes. Oh, much obliged, Constable Dibbins.
I ain't promising nothing, mind. Time we had a little chat. Look at me when I'm talking to you. That's more like it. Now you've had time to think, what can you tell me about what happened yesterday? Feel bad about what you did, do you? He's weeping. Maybe this contraption's got feelings after all. Now, I want a truthful answer. If I release you from custody, will you do it again? Well, I'll be damned. The prisoner has been interviewed.
Yes?
And having exhibited signs of repentance, I am prepared to release him into your protective custody, provided, Wallace, you give me an assurance that you'll keep your blinking eye on him. Or it. Or whatever he answers to.
Oh, I'll keep an eye on him, Constable Dibbins. You have my word on that. Do you know anything about snails, Mrs. Gabberley?
I know they eat them in continental parts.
Well, yes, but do you think there's anything special about this one?
To be honest, I couldn't rightly tell.
Just bear with me for a moment, Mr. Pannier. Major Crumb wanted me to show you this.
That's a snail, Mr. Wallace.
I know.
Why are you showing me a snail?
Well, it's in its shell, you see, and according to Major Crumb, when a snail goes into its shell during the day, it means we can expect untold airborne activity of an unpleasant nature.
Go home, Wallace, and get some rest. Reckon you've been overdoing the inventing.
You're standing in a puddle, Mr. Pannier.
My shoes aren't waterproof.
The sky is blue, and still it rains on yours truly.
Well, did you do as I asked? Have you delivered the message? Have you shown them the snail?
I'm not sure the snail will convince them, Major Crumb.
If she doesn't, the air raid siren will, but by then it may be too late. Well, what do they have to say now that they've seen the snail?
Well, I haven't exactly shown it to everyone.
But you must! Look at that poor lass. Not a care in the world, no idea that the alien hordes are about to descend. She doesn't want to face the truth, but it's your duty to shove it in her face.
Oi, come back here, you thieving rascal. That's my tea bag.
I won't have you threatening that dear little creature. Not while he's in my garden. You've come buzzing back, Mr. Wallace. As a bee to a blossom, eh?
I realise this may seem a trifle irregular, but Major Crumb insisted I show you this. It's... oh.
A snail? In my garden? Have you lost your mind, Wallace?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I wonder where Major Crumb disappeared to. So that's where the dog tags went. I'm sure Gromit'll be glad to get them back.
Wallace, thank heavens you made it to the shelter. I'd given you up for lost. Caught in the crossfire, were you?
Great news, Gromit. I found those dog tags you misplaced. Now you can walk around looking official.
Stop pacing about, Wallace. You're making the rest of the men nervous.
It isn't like Gromit to be so absent-minded. I just found these on the floor, Gromit. You really must be more careful. He dropped them again. What's wrong with that dog? You lost them again, Gromit. One could almost believe you dropped them on purpose.
You've got to get your mind off the carnage up there. Would you like to hear one of my old war stories? Might help pass the time.
Well, I hate to...
Of course you would. I brought visual aids. I can still see...
What a face!
That's me kitted out for heavy combat. That helmet took many a dent before the war was through. Without it, I could have become seriously loopy.
Take my advice, Wallace. Never go into battle without a regulation helmet like the one in this picture.
Now, there's a sight.
That's me posing with Mother next to my 40mm Bofors. Look at the size of that monster. Big Betty, we called her. The gun, not my mother. 3 weeks later, I was lucky.
Who's that fellow?
That's me as a young recruit, off to basic training. How I cried when they cut off my golden curls. But I cheered up as soon as they issued me with a beautiful set of dog tags. Dashed useful dog tags if you happen to forget your rank or name. You've got it, right there. Never go into battle without your dog tags, Wallace.
Sounds like you were quite a soldier, Major Crumb.
Well, Wallace, why the past tense?
Oh dear.
Once a soldier, always a soldier. Something you civilians will never grasp. And I'd be happy to prove it by charging into the fray. That is, if I were recommissioned and had a proper helmet with a cute little brim, and if I could find someone to take charge of this shelter and distribute the protein bars.
Pardon me, Major. About those protein bars of yours.
Rations, Wallace. Emergency rations for... emergencies, obviously. Been stockpiling them since the war. Enough nutrition in them to feed a man under fire for a whole day.
And very tasty they look, too.
Tasty? They're foul, but packed with high-strength protein.
I'd love to try one.
Out of the question, I'm afraid. You don't have clearance. And besides, protein bars are only issued in the event of civil emergencies. Orders are orders, Wallace. By George, this is an emergency. Private Gromit! I hereby issue you 1 protein bar. Guard it well, and see that it lasts you all day. Wallace, here's one for you as well.
Much obliged. If your heart's set on going into battle, Major Crumb...
Oh, it is, Wallace, it is.
Well then, I don't see why you shouldn't. Go back upstairs, that is.
But the protein bars...
I'm sure someone else can dispense those.
But who? It's a major responsibility, Wallace. I can't entrust these to just anyone.
Gromit could do the job.
Private Gromit? Can I entrust my precious cache of protein bars to a Pongo? Perhaps so. He's proven himself a trusty foot soldier. Yes. If I am called away to the front, I'd feel comfortable leaving Private Gromit in charge. But I haven't been recommissioned.
It isn't like Gromit to be so absent-minded. I found these in the hall, Major Crumb.
Dog tags! I've been recommissioned! Bound to happen, of course. Can't leave good military material sitting on the shelf. My place is in the trenches.
Yes, that's all very well, I suppose. But I'd need a good sturdy helmet with a cute little brim like the one I had in the war.
Ouch! What did you expect, Wallace? You can't snatch a soldier's helmet like that and not hear about it.
My workers are very devoted to their queen. I'll leave that where it is. I thought you might find this useful, Major Crumb.
A helmet! By George, Wallace, there's nothing like a good helmet. Makes a fellow want to put himself in the path of projectiles. If you know what I mean. Good heavens! I shouldn't be skulking around in a cellar like a frightened rat. I'm a soldier, by thunder! Private Gromit, I hereby appoint you officer commanding this air raid shelter. Here, you pass out the rations. I've got a war to win. Charge!
Cold toast. Shame to let it go to waste. Here you are, little fella. Try some toast.
Yes, do feed him. I'm sure the little mite's hungry. What are you looking for exactly? You're persistent in your attentions this morning, Mr. Wallace.
I wonder, Miss Flit, if you would be so kind as to, hand me that tea bag.
Tea bag, Mr. Wallace? What tea bag?
The one on your,
Are you feeling quite well, Mr. Wallace?
Miss Flit, if you'll just take a look at the pansies, I think you'll...
I told you, Mr. Wallace. I refuse to let those yellow hooligans have the satisfaction of... Oh, Apple! You see? They're mending their ways. They just needed a firm talking to, that's all. Mother forgives you, you naughty little pansies. Sweet satisfaction, Mr. Wallace.
Yes, indeed. Very sweet. One unit of Energide fluid for a creamy finish. One generous chunk of protein to give it texture. One dose of Strongium into the mix. Now to mix up my very own quick grow muscle formula. That ought to do it. No, the mixomatic's all mixed up. Stop! Stop! Help! Gromit! Oh, thanks, lad.
Checking to see if anything's sprouted yet, Mr. Wallace.
Well, as a matter of fact, Miss Flit,
Really? I don't see what you're hoping to... Oh! I don't believe
it
it!
works! It works! The homemade quick grow miracle muscle formula works! We're in business now. You see, Gromit, look where a bit of enterprise can get you. If I hadn't found that flyer you chucked in the bin, I'd never have been able to concoct my Miracle Grow formula. And then where would we be? You really must be careful what you chuck out, you know. Blinking Nora!
Oh, my word! I think I'm going to faint.
This ought to be plenty of fuel for the old pollinator.
That's champion, that is. 50 gallons of honey and just in time for my annual tea and crumpet festival. Pleasure doing business with you, Wallace.
Always aim to please our bees. That's the last of our bills, Gromit, and we've got just about enough left over for that little holiday we've been planning. This year, I fancy Blackpool. Oh, yes, lad. I think our money troubles are over at last.
Air raid! Air raid! Petrol
Oh, dear.
stations everywhere!
Not this again.
Excellent vantage point. Prepare for a crash landing, you devils! Sorry, Wallace, but I'm going to have to commandeer your dining room.
Now, just a minute, Major Crumb.
No time to argue, old man. The whole town's under bombardment.
But
Here they come!
doesn't it, Gromit? Giant bees!
Heaven help the good citizens of West Wallaby Street! Civilians out!
But
That's an order, Wallace. Private Gromit, kindly escort this civilian from the battle zone. For Queen and country, soldier!
good heavens, Gromit, you don't suppose those monsters have anything to do with our honey-making operation, do you? Bumbling heck! My quick grow formula, it didn't just affect the flowers. Just hope it's a wrong number and not more bad news. Yes, Mr. Paneer. Well, of course you're upset. Being dive-bombed by giant bees isn't good for any business. We're doing all we can to get the situation under control. Normal honey service will be resumed as soon as possible. With normal-sized bees. That's a promise. There's a giant fly in the soup, lad. And it's shaped like a bee. They're taking over the town. Time to read the riot act. I am their employer, after all. Oh! They won't listen. They're completely out of control. This honey business has a sting in the tail and no mistake. Oh! Do something, Gromit! Hello, from B to... Oh, Constable Dibbins. Yes, I know, it's...
Ah, Mr. Gabble here. I ain't much good at eating humble pie, but I spoke out of turn yesterday. You're not a daft apers after all. What I said to you, I'll take it all back. You're a credit to the town. Just a minute. What's this? Ah! Giant bigot bees! Oh my giddy heart! There's only one nincompoop round here what could have caused this!
Careful with the auto-flip frying pan, lad. The timer mechanism is very delicate. It's liable to spring at odd moments. Well, it's Constable Dibbins, Gromit. He's not a happy camper. The bees have trapped Mr. Paneer in his shop and they're running wild on West Wallaby Street too. What to do, lad? What to do? Well, after all, it was an innocent mistake.
said get out! I may be knocking on, but I ain't finished yet. Back again, pet. Nice to see another soul game enough to stand up to them bees, even if it is, pardon the expression, a dog. Oh, blinking Nora, look at Mr. Paneer shut up in his shop like a prisoner, and all on account of a few blinking bees. You don't see Winnie Gabberly chucking in the towel. Didn't close during the hedgehog riots of 72, and I ain't closing now. Besides, where would I go if I did? I ain't going back tit flat with old man Gabberly. Not till he says he's sorry. Tossed out all me pansies, he did.
Mr. Gabberly here. I ain't much good at eating humble pie, but I spoke out of turn yesterday. You're not a daft apers after all. What I said to you, I'll take it all back. You're a credit to the town.
Well, fighting dogs come limping home. There now, weren't so hard, were it?
Is that you, Winnie? Breaking code of silence, are you?
No need for silence now you've shown a bit of humility.
Humility? Me? Never!
Oh, you don't fool me. You're just a big old softy, and I know it. Hey, I need me head examined, keeping shop open when town's crawling with giant bees.
What's got into you, Winnie? Stay back, I say! Oh, Winnie Gabberly!
What do you want? No, it's you. Don't tell me you want me to do something about the giant bees. We're on the case, all right? Them buzzing bandits will feel the full weight of the law, make no mistake. But, well, it's complicated. Don't know what the charges would be, exactly. Nothing in the penal code about giant bees, so far as I can see. But rest assured, I'm looking. Oh, and tell that master of yours he left something behind. There was another cheese too, but I kept it for me sandwich. Fair payment for me troubles, says I. Sorry for the delay, Mr. Paneer. I think you'll find the streets are now bee-free.
Thank heavens for the boys in blue.
Now, I'll have to ask you to accompany me to the station. There's some paperwork we need to fill out. Nothing too bothersome.
Happy to do my part.
It's citizens like you what make my job a pleasure, Mr. Paneer.
Yoo-hoo! Gromit! Up here! Now, listen to me, nice doggy-wuggy. I'm trapped in this
tree by giant bees. Do you understand? You must take a message to your master. I need him to get me down from here. Can you tell him that? Oh, wait a minute. Give him this. It's a note. Oh, tell him to hurry. I can't hold on much longer.
I know Constable Dibbins. Well, yes, like I said, he's very well trained. Right then. Goodbye, Constable. Good work, lad. Seems you took care of the downtown gang good and proper. But so long as they're still supersized, our job's only half done. I'd better get to work on a reverse growth formula. What's this, lad? An SOS note? From Miss Flit. Why didn't you show it me earlier? Hang on, Miss Flit. Help is on the way. Ow! It's no use, lad. The bees outside may be neutralized, but the ones inside are still buzzing mad, and they won't let me leave. It's up to you, Gromit.
Heavens! Where is that master of yours? Did you give your master my note yet, Gromit? Good dog. Oh, good dog. Is he on his way? Oh, how long must I hang here? This is because I didn't give him the flowers he wanted, isn't it?
Private Gromit, it's looking grim out there. That's right, soldier. Help steady my aim. Bullseye! Into the dustbin of history for you, my friend. Right where he belongs, the fiend. flounder! Try getting out of that one, fly boy! If you see that! Ha! Blew him right out of the sky! That'll teach him. A thrilling sight for you, Private Gromit! Why, I feel like a young man again! Calls for a celebration, Private! Meet you in the mess in 20...
Yes, I know, Gromit. Poor Miss Flit is up a gum tree. I'd love to ride to the rescue, but the bees have taken over the asylum, and I'm a prisoner in my own kitchen. I'd better stay here where I can do the most good. You take care of the bees in the cellar. You're good with animals.
Is he on his way? Please say that he's coming soon. This really is intolerable. Tell him I'll be extremely cross if he continues to dilly-dally.
Pacified all the bees, Gromit? Good lad. I knew I could count on you. That's right. Poor Miss Flit is still trapped in that tree, isn't she?
Help! Get me down from here!
Don't panic. I'm coming, Miss Flit. Oh, it seems I'm underdressed.
Gracious!
Hang on, Miss Flit.
My saviour.
So that's the story, Miss Flit. I'm afraid my miracle growth formula led to some supersized problems.
I hope you're going to get rid of the infernal stuff.
Oh, I am. And rest assured, all the bees have been dealt with safely and humanely.
Well, that's a relief. But weren't you scared facing down an angry swarm of giant bees all by yourself?
Frightened? Oh, well, I was heavily outnumbered, of course, but they soon saw who was boss and that the sting was on the other foot.
I was terrified.
That's only natural, Miss Flit. Well, I had a twinge or two myself at times, you know, but keep a cool head. That's my motto. Look your adversary square in the eye and never let yourself get carried away. Put me down! Get off! It's got me! Blinking Nora! The Queen's trying to turn me into royal jelly! The ingratitude! After I've built her a hive in solid brass and a magnetronic pollinator thingamajig to take all the hard work out of honey making. Oh, I'm beginning to think I should never have mixed this growth formula at all. I ought to chuck it away. Hey! Easy, old girl. No need to get excited. Put me down gently and no one will get hurt. Oh dear, nothing in the beekeeper's manual about aerial abduction. Help! Help! Gromit! Attaboy! I knew you'd come through! Raise the ladder, lad!
Found a place to curl up at his master's feet. But if he's ever separated from the master...
What are you waiting for, Gromit? Raise the ladder! That's right, lad. Now raise the ladder. Oh! That's torn it. The ladder's broken, and I left the spare at home. Lend me a hand, Gromit. It's no use, Gromit. She won't let go. Phew! Back on terra firma. Well done, Gromit. Gromit? Gromit! You all right, lad? Oh, good show. We've made it through this little episode in one piece. More than I can say for the autopilot, I'm afraid. Oh, the autopilot! Oh dear, looks like our troubles aren't quite over. Look out behind you, Gromit! Keep her at bay. I'll try and lose her in here. Still plenty of honey in the old tank. Perhaps the honey could use a little kick.
Deserts and mountains, swim oceans, to be reunited with his master, the wellspring of his happiness.
It was bewitched.
You must have done something to deserve it.
I never. I've been a blooming angel all blooming day.
Well, where's your problem?
Come again.
Give her a dose of her own medicine, lad.
Thought you were a flower.
Bagged her, Gromit. Ooh, cracking teamwork, lad. I've done it, Gromit. I found the antidote to that pesky growth formula. Now we can finally cut our bee problem down to size. Though there is one small complication.